Good morning. This is Viola Ignites. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for liking this video, subscribing to this video. I've been so touched by so many of your comments and your response to this series. Let's dive in today. This week, we're talking about time, how we should consider time, how we should reframe our past so it can ignite us into pursuit, into bold and bolder moves towards our calling and our purpose on the earth. Today, I want us to go a little deeper into our consideration of time. And I want us to think about a human condition that seems to happen in all generations. I think all of us have experienced this. I certainly have several times. You know you should move. You should make a bold move, but you don't. Not because you can't, but for many reasons. You're waiting for more certainty. You want more time to decide or to commit. You want better conditions. You want affirmation. You want permission. You want to feel more worthy. And then you wake up and the door is closed. You wake up and the opportunity has gone to somebody else. The window has closed. The season has ended. The opportunity is no longer on the table. The job listing is no longer on the website. And you realize I was standing right there. In fact, the door was open and I knew I was in the foyer. I was in the lobby. I was inside. I could have crossed, but then I didn't. And that's it. It's gone. And it's not just me. I know you've experienced this. I know you know people who have experienced this. It's a human pattern. It's a human condition, right? But here is why we need to think about it, because I think this human condition pattern of being at the threshold and dying at the threshold and not crossing over, it has catastrophic costs to our calling, to our fruitfulness, our potential being maximized. So I want us to just talk a little bit more about what this pattern looks like so you could think about it in the light of your own life. You can make plans to making sure that in this season, that's not how you move. I was thinking if there's 5 stages I could outline. So stage 1, the opportunity appears. Okay, that job is mine. It got my name all over it. That opportunity, that grant, that fellowship, whatever it is, the opportunity appears before you. The next step is so clear. You know what you need to do. The path is visible. That's stage 1. Stage 2, you do what we are here to talk about. You're like, I need more time. I need to talk to my committee. I need to process this. I need to take a fast. I need to pray. All these things. But basically, whatever it is that you're doing that is a form of procrastination, a form of not engaging with the opportunity that's before you, right? So you say you want more certainty before you commit. You want more confirmations. You want more assurance. You name it. We all know the games we play internally, right? So you're asking for more time. It's not a verbal ask, but you are behaving like you need more time to make a move on the opportunity that has just opened. That's the stage 2. Stage 3, the opportunity goes away. The window closes. The season ends. The opportunity moves. The door closes, it's not available anymore. The listing on the website, they've pulled it down, right? The application for the grant is done. The opportunity is gone. The person that you were going to sit down and make this proposal to has flown away, no longer available to talk to you. The window closes. You see, the window closed, and it was not because you were not worthy of the opportunity, but you treated that open door like it was open forever. The door is closed and you can't force it to reopen. The season has passed. This is stage 5. The opportunity goes to somebody else. Somebody who said, oh yes, absolutely, I'm going to move on it. I'm going to stay up a few more hours to get this application out. I'm going to stay out a little longer so I can meet this person and seal this deal. I'm going to, have a minimal viable product and test this in the market because this dream just keeps burning in my heart. I'm going to put together the copy I need for that landing page so I could sell this offer, whatever it is. Somebody said yes to that opportunity. Somebody said yes to that idea. And they said yes when the door was still open. They said yes when the season was still available. And they're not more qualified than you are. But they crossed that threshold when the crossing was possible. And that's the difference, right? And this is what I want you to pay attention to. This pattern can repeat itself over and over and over in your life in so many subtle, different ways, but it's the same pattern. And there's so many of us, that's exactly where we are. We are at the threshold and we don't cross. We are at the threshold and we refuse to cross. We are at the threshold and for whatever reason, we can't cross. Over and over and over and over again. Now, this is one of the most sobering stories for me in the scriptures. So sobering. It's found in Numbers 13 and 14. And it's sobering because every time I read it, it's like a wake-up call. And I thought that it will be the perfect story just to highlight this human pattern. If you've had a pattern of being at a threshold and not crossing over. All right, so this is Numbers 13 and Numbers 14. And I'll set it up just for those of us that don't know the story. Let me tell it this way. It's a group of people, right? They're at the threshold of everything that they had been promised, that they had worked towards. They were right there at the threshold. Like the door was open. They were told the door was open. They were told that this is harvest time. This is the season for you. They could even see it. So it was right there before them. But these people asked for more time. How did they ask for more time? They said they wanted 40 days to go explore, to go check it out, just to make sure that what was promised them was actually there. So they wanted 40 days for exploration. Then they said, when they had the 40 days of exploration, they said they wanted a committee vote. They wanted, and look, you know how committee votes are. Anyway, they said they wanted a committee vote. So they wanted to report on the 40 days of exploration and then get a committee vote. Okay. And then after the committee vote, guess what they said? They said, no, this promise, this is not going to work right now. It's not going to work because there's too many obstacles. So it's not going to work. There's giants and we're grasshoppers. This is not going to work. So they were in this season, and then instead of crossing into it wholeheartedly, they said no, they wanted to go back. They wanted to go back. They wanted to go back. And we can listen to that story and think we're better than those people that made that decision, but we're repeating the same pattern in our lives when opportunities show up for us. We are in a harvest season and we're asking for time to plant. Rather than engage with the harvest and pick up the produce, we're saying we need more time to plant. And in this story that I'm recounting, what happened to them was they were told, guess what? The season is over. The door has closed. The opportunity doesn't exist anymore. And so they never got to experience that promise. They never got to walk in their calling. They never got to taste of the bounty and of the harvest that was for them. Again, such a sobering story. And this is the part of the story that it just breaks my heart every time I think about it. It's Numbers 14 and verse 40. And I encourage you to go read it for yourself. It says, and they rose early in the morning and went up to the top of the mountain, saying, here we are, and we'll go up to the place the Lord has promised. So they wake up the next morning and they say, you know what? Let's go get it. This is after they'd said, you know what, let's return, because there's too many obstacles to engage with this promise. So let's just go back to where we were before. Let me just live this life that I've been living. Okay? Yes, I know that there's a calling over my life. Yes, I know that there's talents that I've buried, but let me just stay right here. Let me just stay right here. I'm comfortable right here. So let me just stay right here. I don't want the more that there is for me. I don't want to walk in the calling that is the calling over my life. I don't want to multiply the talents that I've been given. Just leave me right here. I'm quite all right here. That's the same vibe. That's the same pattern. That's the same language. When you refuse to engage with the season that is presented to you and you say, no, I'm quite all right. I don't need the more that there is for me. This talent has been buried for so long. Why dig it up? Why dig it up? I don't need to multiply those talents. Just leave me right here. And from that group of people, only 2 people were able to walk in their callings. Only 2, Joshua and Caleb. Only 2 people were able to taste the promise, to engage with the promise. And the difference is they said yes to crossing over when the opportunity was presented. That's the difference between them and the rest of the millions that didn't make it in. So what is your posture towards the new season? What is your posture towards the calling upon your life? What is your posture towards the more God has for you? Is it absolutely, I want it all? And yes to this open door. I will walk through it. Or are you listing what you're perceiving as the obstacles, the hindrances, the risks? Say yes when your season requires it. Say yes. When you start feeling the stirring in your heart about putting to use those gifts, putting to use those talents, about stepping out in faith, about engaging more boldly with the things that the Lord has entrusted you, about digging up those talents, those burdens that have been in your heart, those ideas, those projects. Say yes. Say yes when the season requires it. And I know that this is that kind of season. It's the kind of season that requires your yes. It's the kind of season that requires you to say yes. Yes to bold moves. Yes to faith-filled moves. Yes to digging up the talents that you've buried and you haven't cared about in 20 years. Yes to overcoming your fear. Yes to speaking up. Yes to testing that idea. Yes. This season is that kind of season. And because it's that kind of season, the warning that goes with that kind of season is you thinking you have all the time in the world. Is you thinking that you can delay saying yes. It's you thinking that the opportunity, the season will last forever. It's you thinking that you can delay your yes. That's the risk with this kind of season. And so here's the principle, here's the spark. You don't get infinite time to decide. You don't. Opportunities have windows. Seasons have expiration dates. And the pattern of I will do it when I'm ready, it really just translates into I will die without ever having done any of it. That's what it translates into, right? Not because you're not capable, but because a lot of us are waiting for conditions that would never, ever, ever arrive. And so if that's you, because that's been all of us at one point or the other, I just want you to think about how many thresholds have you stood at and refused to cross? I want you to think about that. Opportunities that were right before you, doors that were clearly open with your name on them, seasons that were obviously harvest and required you to engage and gather in that produce. And yet you're saying, I need more time. I need better conditions. There's too many obstacles. I want you to think about those seasons. I want you to think about those times in your life because I want them to be top of mind so that you approach this season with the right mindset and so that you don't repeat the pattern that you may have repeated in the past. Because if you do, you end up like this generation at Kadesh Barnea who didn't understand the season they were in, who didn't know a yes was required of them, who were not sensitive to giving their yes on time. We don't want to stand at the threshold and not get in. We don't want to be standing at the threshold, at the border of the promise, and not be able to touch it, not be able to enjoy it, engage with it. We don't want that. So here is your spark. Here is your spark. List the last 3 thresholds that you didn't cross and why. Why? And then I want you to ask in the quietness of your heart, what doors are opening before me now? What doors are opening before me now? And I want you to purpose to move with decisiveness. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching.